Hello, absolutely everyone. This is Santos, founder of Neon Gen Acquisition. We are a referral home remodeling company working with remodelers in the US and Canada as well. And well, I did want to make this video because there's this one topic I wanted to speak about, which is less is more. And this is especially going to be very useful for those remodelers who have a high volume of leads that have a very good pipeline. And sometimes they don't really know how to manage it and how to use it intelligently and in an efficient way to make the most of the return on investment that they can. In this video, I'm actually going to speak about less is more. This topic is super important because in this industry, in remodeling, everyone is used to the fact that quotes are just free, that you can just get this quote from this company, call that other company, call the other company, and you can just gather 5, 6, 8, 10 quotes from different companies. And then for us, the people that actually want to close those deals, close those projects, it becomes difficult because we've got a lot of competition. As you know, the more the competition, the less the prices, the more competitive it gets. So that doesn't really benefit us as a company if we want to get those projects, all right? So how do you actually manage this high volume of leads, high volume of requests for quotes from clients when they are all free and you're supposed to just do them all? Well, I'm going to explain you something in this video which is actually going to change the game for you guys. So please stay till the end of the video because it's going to be super useful. The thing is that in this industry, it's very accepted that quotes are just free. The thing is that, in my opinion, and this is how we do with our partners, is that not everyone is entitled to a free quote. A free quote is a lot of time, is actually a lot of time, effort that sometimes might just go nowhere, might just go to our competition hands so that they can compare us and they can just cut prices with the person that they actually want to do the project with. So first of all, that I want to explain is that not everyone is entitled to a free quote, and just because you do free quotes doesn't mean that everyone that calls you for that is deserving that time, that energy that it takes to go there, drive there, take the measurements, listen to the person, listen to the prospect. What does he want to do, or what does she want to do, etc., etc. Take all these notes, get back home or on the office, do the quote, just to send it through email, and then absolutely nobody responds. They look like they are gone, they are gone from this earth, and you don't know anything more about them. You just know that you spend a lot of hours, a lot of energy putting into those leads that actually didn't really convert, and that most of the times you can see it. You can tell when somebody is actually gonna be a good fit for your company or not. You can just sense it. It's small details, it's very nuanced. Small words, expressions, behaviors that we see that remind us of other times that we've gone to somebody's house and they finally didn't accept the quote because of this reason, because of that reason. We typically know what is the reason. For example, when a client asks for a cheap price or is constantly mentioning the fact that he wants something or she wants something which is not too expensive because he doesn't have much budget, that can be a sign that can tell us that maybe that lead is not the best fit for your company, all right? And those kind of leads, for example, I would just quit them. I would just discard them. Of course, you need to be elegant. Like you can't just say, hey, you don't have enough budget, you cannot work with my company. You can say something like, well, right now, taking into account what has to be done in this project and the fact that we've got a lot of requests and we cannot manage them all, we have to prioritize, and I don't think that we're going to be able to give you the right attention so that this project can be something you're very satisfied with. So with all the respect, I need to reject or I need to decline your request. You can say something like that, just make it to be elegant, but the point is that I am not quoting this thing. And this is something that you have to do once you go to the actual space. It's true that you still lose time when you have to drive and when you have to listen to the person, but at least you save the time that you would have spent quoting and making numbers, all of that stuff, right? And the reason why you have to go to actually see in person what is going on and what do they want to do is because you cannot tell when, like, just for a phone call, you just cannot tell how interested is someone, how committed is someone, how much budget does somebody have. It's just information that you can feel when you have the person in front of you, but you cannot, you don't have the clear picture before the appointment as to assess whether that is worth it or not, because there have been sometimes, not too much times, not like it's not too often, but sometimes when you are on the appointment, you see things and you hear things and you are told things you didn't know when the person was booked into your calendar. All right, so that's something very important, because as well, something you need to take into account about this is that when you quote so much people, it requires a lot of energy, and it also means that you don't have the right time, you don't have the right energy for the actual good leads, and this is the problem with remodelers that just give their quotes for free to absolutely everybody without actually making some kind of filtering or some kind of selection. I want to work with you. Yes, I don't want to work with you. This is the problem. When you've got so much requests, it can be a challenge to keep up the pace when you've got so many submissions, so many requests, and there is some ones that are more interested, are more qualified, but you give them the same attention as somebody which is definitely not fit for your company. Another thing that I want to mention is that some remodelers I know were a little bit doubtful, or were a little bit hesitant about starting to disqualify leads. Why? Because they think that these leads are kind of gonna put them a bad review on Google My Business. Hey, these guys didn't want to make me the quote because they say that they were not interested. First of all, if you are elegant, they're actually gonna the prospect is actually gonna see a clear, rational or rational reason why you cannot do that, allegedly. And the second thing is that people just don't do that. Even if you tell them, I don't want to work with you because you don't have the budget for my kind of for the kind of projects that I do, even if you just tell them just straight away in their face without having some tact or something like that, they are not gonna care. They are not gonna go to Google My Business and put you a bad review, because this is even something that I've done personally when maybe I didn't care so much about what the prospect would think. Now I'm a little bit more elegant, but this is something that I've previously done, and no one, absolutely no one, has gone to my Google My Business and has put in a bad review because I wasn't willing to quote that. All right, so that's another fear you can just get rid of right now, so that at the end of the day you can work less, because when you quote less people, of course, you do work less and you do close more, because you put more attention, more energy, you put more effort towards those good opportunities, and you end up making more as well, because you close more, you make more. And obviously, if you start to focus on your leads, like operationally, it's very good, because when somebody accepts a quote on the prices that you know are good for your company, and you don't need to go and wrestle and cut prices and do all those concessions to the prospect because they don't have too much money, then you have those profits, you keep those margins, so that's something else which is going to be very good for your business. And last thing I want to mention, well, two things that I want to mention, is that when you do this filtering, when you do disqualify leads, be very, put some effort, actual effort, to the proposals that you send your clients, or you explain your clients. Why? Because our average partner spends 20 hours just to make one quote of course, a full home renovation, like maybe 800 square feet, for example, 1,000 square feet, a good project. They might spend 20-25 hours just quoting that very one thing, and absolutely for free. But you know what happens? The closing rate is high. One every 3 leads close, maybe half of the leads close. Why? Because they actually see you're putting an effort that nobody in the competition is putting for free. But how is it, how come are you able to do that? How come you're able to put so much time to a quote when you don't even know if they're going to accept it and it's going to be for free? Well, because you do have that time, because you have disqualified so much people, and you really believe that the person that you've got in front of you is a very good fit for your company. So this is actually everything that I wanted to mention on this video. I hope it has been very helpful. I really believe that you should apply this strategy right now, because you're just going to make more money and close more and work less. Who in his right mind wouldn't like to do this? But anyway, I hope you like it, and see you on the next video.